Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Tier List Thursdays. This week, I'm bringing you something near and dear to my heart. We're talking about skeletons, baby. Talking about motherfucking skeletons. Specifically, found a pretty nice one. Found a video game skeletons tier list. I don't really think there's a lot of preamble here. The skeletons are going to be talking about skeletons. Let's get right into it. We are going to be starting off with an absolute fucking banger, though. We got Dry Bowser. He's going to the boner tier. I love Bowser. Shout out Bowser. Badass, reptilian, dinosaur, villain man. Breathes fire. Super fucking cool. I've always been appreciative of villains in video games. And I mean, Bowser's like the most iconic one. He's Bowser, for fuck's sake. And Dry Bowser is literally Bowser, but he's a skeleton. Taking already a sick design and a sick character, and you're just making him even cooler. I am a Dry Bowser main in Mario Kart 8, by the way, so also part of the reason why Dry Bowser ranks so high. They hate to see a Dry Bowser winning. They truly do. But Dry Bowser's great. He's awesome. Kind of the epitome of what a skeleton can encompass in this tier list. So, setting the real high benchmark right there. Up next, we got the I can't remember if this is like the Bone Man or the Wither Man or something like that. They're from Skyrim. They have this and the Skeleton Archer form have different names for some reason. I don't know why. But these guys, so this guy can go in Skeleton tier, and Skeleton Archer will go into Tickle My Funny Bone. So, as you'll probably notice, well, there's not a ton on here, but it's very common in video game media for some reason for skeletons to be archers. Don't know why. It's just kind of a thing that's really prominent. I don't know why it suits them so well, but skeletons, archers, it just makes sense. It just fits. And so, being an archer, it's a lot cooler than just being a lame infantry skeleton. But the reason why I put the skeleton archer over the other Bone Man, the other Bone Man, he like shoots ice magic at you and whatnot. But he doesn't have legs. I discussed this in, oh god, which tier list did I discuss this in? I talked about it in a past tier list. When things don't have legs, I don't know. I think they look, it's lame to me. I don't like it. And this guy doesn't have legs. He's just a floating torso, which looks kind of goofy. But he's a black skeleton with like fucking glowing blue eyes. That's sick. It's badass. And you can find a spell book to summon these guys in the Soul Cairn, which is pretty cool. They're alright summons. However, the downside is that you have to explore the Soul Cairn in order to find these things. And slight tangent, the Soul Cairn is such a sick concept, and it looks amazing. It's like right there in my aesthetic. I love it so much. It scratches an itch I got. God, going through that place fucking sucks, though. Least enjoyable part of Dawnguard, by far. But moving on, I believe we just have the default Skyrim skeleton. And I mean, it's a skeleton. I don't know how you get more quintessential skeleton than that. These are the iconic skeletons that explode when you kill them. And while that tempts me to put them in Tickle with My Funny Bone, they're just skeletons. It would be disingenuous to put them in anything other than the skeleton tier. But next we got the fucking hog riding skeleton from the N64 Castlevania games. What the fuck? Huh? This doesn't even make sense. This is the so outlandish that it has to be in the Tickle My Funny Bone. It's not like they're like Castlevania games that like take place in like a modern setting, And unless I'm misremembering, Castlevania 64 is not one of them. I don't even think it's close to like modern. It's like 1800s at the latest. But yeah, no, skeletons, they got sick fucking hogs. They're just riding on their chopper. Huh? What? It's amazing. It's hilarious. It's so fucking stupid. That game is so fucking bad, and there's so much stupid shit like this. But in isolation, just looking at a skeleton riding on a fucking hog, cranking his hog, yeah, it's too good not to appreciate. Skeleton Archer, I believe this is also from Castlevania. I don't recognize which game specifically. It looks like Symphony of the Night. I don't know. It's Skeleton Archer. It's quintessential Skeleton Archer. And, you know, as I spoke before, yeah, I'm gonna move the... No, actually, I'm gonna keep him in Tickle My Funny Bone, because not only is he just a Skeleton Archer, but he's a black skeleton, which is sick. So yeah, he'll stay in Tickle My Funny Bone, and then Skeleton Archer will stay in Skeleton tier, right above plain-ass regular old Skellington. Alright, next we got the skeleton versions. There was another one later. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab him. Skeleton versions of the enemies from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not sure how I'm gonna rank these guys. So the Bokoblin skeleton tier, quintessential skeleton. These are like the default villains normally, and then there's a skeleton version of them. Not really much to say there. TBH, kind of quintessential skeleton business. I'll put them right above the... Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'll put them right above the Bone Man. Lizalfos, these guys are... I always remember them being slightly annoying to fight. Just a little more threatening. They can zip around, dodge your attacks. And I think for being more competent, they'll go right above the Bokoblin. They also drop their horns, which in Tears of the Kingdom I remember using a lot to like fuse my weapons with. Oh god, I can't remember these guys' names. Moblins? Or are these Bokoblins? I don't remember the names. Big scary motherfuckers. I think these guys, they can go and Tickle My Funny Bone, and he's gonna go right below the Archer. I know in Tears of the Kingdom specifically, you can, whenever you kill a skeleton, you can pick up their arm as a weapon. And it does a lot of damage, but it has a super low durability. But these guys, their arms does like, dude, they do crazy damage. And they're also just a lot more intimidating and imposing just from being so much larger. But they're still not that difficult to deal with. You know, if you're decently accurate with your bow, you can always get that headshot, and then it's GG's after that. And next we got like the big old ogre motherfucker, whose names I also can't remember. I don't know if I ever fought one of these. I didn't play a ton of Tears of the Kingdom. I still need to. But I mean, it's kind of the same thought process as these guys. They're just even bigger and more intimidating and more powerful, and that's cool. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about those four. The default... Okay, so this one I know is from Castlevania. This is from the original NES. Yeah, I mean, quintessential skeleton. He's got a sword. And swords are cooler than bows. That's about it. A bloody skeleton. This is kind of horrifying. I believe this is from Castlevania 4. I don't believe I know it's from Castlevania 4. Yeah, it's kind of terrifying, kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, it's just a skeleton though. At the end of the day, I don't believe there's anything different about them. I think they're just a more horrifying skeleton. Concept art for some I don't know. We're kind of getting a little redundant here. I don't know what the difference is between... He's going to not that humorous. It's getting a little too top heavy. We gotta way down the bottom some. I don't even know what this guy is. I don't know what his deal is. He's just a skeleton though. We've got enough of those. The fucking baby skeletons from Dark Souls. Oh, Jesus, how do I rank these? So on one hand, that's a dead baby. That's just a dead baby, and I don't like that. That's sad trombone noises if I've ever fucking heard it. However, in game, like they run around like the world's most coordinated baby too, and it's super silly because their head's so much bigger than the rest of their body. So they're like charging at you, and there's never just one of them. It's like a fucking swarm of them, and they only show up in like one room in the entire game. They're like right before the Nito boss fight, in the room filled with the other pinwheels. So I mean, like if you're trying to farm. Like when you're trying to farm for the Mask of the Father, if you're not lucky enough to get it during the pinwheel boss fight, you're gonna fucking kill a bunch of these things. They're not really imposing, they're not threatening, they're just kind of annoying, like they'll body block you. But it is kind of silly to see just a fucking swarm of baby skeletons. I don't know why I said zombie. Baby skeleton, to like rise from the ground and like charge at you. They're pretty silly. Honestly, like if you can detach your mind from the concept of dead baby, they're pretty fucking funny. They go right below the skeleton with the hog. These horrifying towers of gunkin skeleton bones. See, I don't even want to put these in this. These don't even feel like they deserve in the skeleton tier list because they're like not skeletons. They're going not that humorous. They're like these pillars of like gunk, and like I don't know what they're supposed to be. It was just like bones sticking out of them, and they just kind of like wiggle towards you. Once again, they don't show up a lot in the game. They're like only in the Tomb of the Giants, which. Oh my god, does that place fucking suck. God, does the second half of Dark Souls really fucking fall off. But, like, I mean, they have a few moments where, like, they really surprise you, they really get you. But, like, I don't know. They're just, I never think about these things anymore. And, like, once you know where they pop up, they're, like, beyond easy to just walk around. They're not that humorous. I don't like them. Dark Wraiths, another boner tier. This, I honestly don't know better ways to describe my aesthetic than a Dark Wraith from Dark Souls. It's a skeleton, humanoid skeleton, in a set of black armor that is adorned with more bones, who wields a badass black sword, and in their offhands, which is normally empty, they can summon a little spectral, like, magical shield, and when they're not using it for a shield, they grab you and they drain the life force from you. And on top of that, they don't wear helmets, they have dark hoods like the fucking ring wraiths. Yeah, I don't... I remember when I told a friend who was playing Dark Souls, I was like, oh, hey, there's an enemy popping up soon that I think is really cool, I really like him. And they saw that, and they saw the Dark Wraith, and they're like, yeah, of course you fucking like this. I fucking love Dark Wraiths. They're the sickest. In fact, I think they go above Dry Bowser. Sorry, buddy, but you got demoted to second place. Ring Wraiths, quintessential me pig. Now, I don't believe I know the names. I'll go ahead and move this one over. These two, both Tomb of the Giants enemies. I don't believe I know the specific names for either of them. I think it's like just an large undead giant. He can go at the top of skeletons here because he's still basically just a skeleton. He's just a lot larger. He has more poise. He does more damage, more health, whatever. He's just a big boss man skeleton, and that's about it. Only shows up in like he shows up on like in the graveyard outside of Firelink. There's one of them there, and then there's like a few in Tomb of the Giants, and that's whatever. Not much to say. What I do have something to say about are these fucking things. Holy shit, they're fucking terrifying. They can go right below the baby zombies. Babies. You want me to fight the chicken? Chicken jockey. The fucking, they're like, they're quadrupedal, although they kind of look like they're humans. Like, that's a human skull. Like, that's a humanoid skull, but it walks around on all fours. Which is horrifying. And the way you're introduced to these, Tomb of the Giants, the area's gimmick is that you can't see. You either have to get like a special lantern that takes your offhand, like that basically takes your shield slot, and you can't block anymore. And you could like air quotes block with that, and it turns on the lantern and you can see. And that's what most people do, and it sucks. Or you can get the sunlight maggot, and then you just replace whatever your helmet is, and then you just have like a passive light aura around you, and it makes it so much easier. But most people have that lantern, and what's gonna happen is you walk into the fucking you walk into the Tomb of the Giants. You realize, oh man, I can't see shit. You get that lantern, and like the very second you use it, this thing is like inches away from your face. And I mean, even to this day, like I kind of struggle with these guys. Like I still haven't really figured them out. Now is that a skill issue? Is it because they're bullshit? I don't know. Both. But these guys are still terrifying to me. I will never be happy seeing one of these things ever. And you gotta respect it. You absolutely have to respect it. Up next, we got Gravelord Nito. And I don't know if he makes boner tier. Yeah, no, he makes boner tier. Nito makes boner tier. So Nito is awesome. Because FromSoft was able to make the concept of just, big evil skeleton, Lord of Dead, as a concept and not give it a boring, done to death design. He's not just a skeleton. He's this fucking huge amalgamation of like a bunch of other skeletons. But he's not like, he's not like a mecha of skeletons. He's just a big skeleton who's got more skeletons as a part of him. Like, as you can see here, like he's got like his main skull, but there's like a million other skulls surrounding him, and that's just like his like head. He's also, he's a bearer of a great soul. Helped overthrow the everlasting dragons, but he's interesting. I resonate with Nito because he's like the only like bearer of a great soul who like isn't involved in the plot at all. Like, he was the first of the dead. He shows up, he helps overthrow the dragons, and then he just kind of fucks off and does his own thing. He just kind of goes into his corner and just like hangs out with his skeleton buddies, because like Gwyn, obviously driving force throughout basically the entire plot of the trilogy. Seath's off in his like corner, like right next to Anor Londo, trying to discover immortality, and the Witch of Izalith made a whoopsie and became the worst thing to ever grace a video game screen. But like Nito, he doesn't really do anything. He's just there. And I like that. Like, you have to kind of just go out of your way, because like Seath has it coming because he's kind of a piece of shit. Izalith has to die. And then Gwyn, same thing. But like Nito, he's just doing his own thing, man. He's just chilling. Another thing I really like is he has this move where like he has like this like sword, but like the blade of it's just like the head of a scythe. It's like a historical like actual scythe used in warfare. But instead of the pole arm, it's like a sword. But like he'll like stab that in the ground and it'll like hit you from underneath. But one thing I really like is like in his fight, whenever he uses that move, the audio cue for it is it's a scream. It's just a woman screaming, which I think, because we got, you got silly skeletons, you got funny little skeletons riding their hogs, but you also have horrifying Lords of Death skeletons, and I think it's very important that we have balance. You gotta have your Sands and your Papyruses, and you gotta have your Gravelord Nitos. You gotta have your abominations from the Tomb of Giants. Nito's great. Nito's awesome. Easy, but not an easy boner tier, but like the bottom of boner tier. Up next, we got the Skeleton Lords from Dark Souls 2. These guys are alright. I like their design. They're like these giant skeleton, like, warlock dudes. The boss fight itself sucks. It's boring. There's 3 of them. Anytime you kill one, it spawns a bunch of, like, skeleton mobs that you also have to kill to, like, reduce the health bar. It's not fun. It's not engaging. It's not interesting. The only closest thing you have to, like, a choice in that fight is, like, which of the 3 you want to kill. Because one summons a horde. One summons the, the wheel skeletons, and another one summons like a few skeleton knights. And it's whatever, it's not interesting, but they look cool. They got sick armor. And it's never a fight I dread. It's just a fight I get to, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like whatever. This is the most stat padding. Yeah, this is the most people like the bosses in Dark Souls, so let's make more bosses. Boss ever. But yeah, they take on my funny bone. I like them. I like their design. We got another regular default skeleton. This time he's got a sword and a shield, though. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. I do like the skeletons in Dark Souls, since not always, but some of them, a lot of them, are effectively immortal. They even if you kill them, they don't die. You have to find in like the area, in the catacombs, you have to find like a skeleton, like wizard man, like a lich who keeps bringing them back to life. And I like that. I like the concept of like, you know, this already dead creature not being capable of dying, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna kill a skeleton, but it's a skeleton that's not even alive. How do you kill that? Which I think is neat, and it's a fun little, it's a nice little difficulty aspect to it. But yeah, it's just a skeleton, man. It's just a skeleton. Who would have thunk? Vamos. Vamos is pretty sick. Shout out Vamos. Almost want to put him in boner tier purely for the fact that he's how you get Chaos Flame. And, you know, without Vamos, we don't have Giant Dad. And if we don't have Giant Dad, what's the point of life? But he's not going to quite make boner tier. I'll put him right above the... no, he goes right below the skeletons on their hogs. Vamos is one of the 3 blacksmiths in Dark Souls 1. You find him in the catacombs. He has this weird effect on his voice. I don't know how I would describe it. I really don't know how to describe it. You just have to like look it up yourself. But he has a really interesting voice. And he just kind of keeps to himself. And in Dark Souls, like in the original version of the game, he's pretty annoying to get to because you just have to go to the end of the catacombs, but right before the pinwheel fight, which isn't the most fun place to get to, but one of the 3 things Dark Souls Remastered did was they put a bonfire in his room. But as I mentioned earlier, he gives you he allows you to make a Chaos Flame weapon, which led to the beautiful creation of Giant Dad. But he's a skeleton, and like he's a big old blacksmith, so he has to have a beard. But skeletons don't have beards, so they just attach like these weird little like, I don't know, hair bones to him. I don't know what the fuck you'd call these. I don't know what they are, but it's interesting. It's neat. It's like, when's the last time you saw a skeleton with like a beard like this? You haven't, because FromSoft is goated. But yeah, shout out Vamos. Up next you have Wolnir. Now, as a design, Wolnir is so sick. He's so awesome. He's this, like, fucking 50-foot tall skeleton lord. Like, trapped in this chalice with, like, that traps, like, this, like, basically has, like, the void inside of it. As a boss fight, though, Wolnir fucking sucks. Now, if you recall the second ever tier list Thursday, my Dark Souls 3 boss tier list, Wolnir is like one of the worst fights in that game. Because he's not fun. He's not interesting, he's not engaging. You just slap his bracelets until he falls into the void. And that sucks. But like as a design, Wolnir is so fucking cool. but he's so fucking lame to fight, you know, like, I don't know how I should rank him. But when I think about Wolnir, I think he goes in skeleton tier, because when I think about him, I think of the positive of his design being sick, and the negative of just being an awful fucking fight. I think that'll put him, like, he'll go, he has to go right below the quintessential skeleton. The baseline, the benchmark for this entire tier list. Sorry, Wolnir, but, God, you have such a shitty fight. Another banger alert. We got Death. Specifically the Symphony of the Night version of Death, which is probably my favorite. It's up there. It's up there for one of my favorite depictions of, like, the Grim Reaper. I mean, what more can I say? He is the embodiment of death in, like, the Castlevania series. And he is the Lord of Death, and you know what? He willingly works for Dracula in every single game, because real recognizes real, game recognizes game. Shout out Dracula, shout out vampires, but he's like the right hand man, and like he's like the second to last boss fight in every single Castlevania game he's in. Sometimes he is the final boss. I don't remember what it's called, but that one for the, like, PS2, the timeline canonical first Castlevania game before Dracula's even Dracula. You know, your final boss is Death, because from the very beginning, the second Dracula becomes Dracula, Death is right by his side. Shout out to him. He day one for real. We all got a day one, and Death is the day one. But I fucking love the design. I love his little blue cloak, his little stupid little pointy head. I mean, he was like my profile picture for my second Instagram account for a hot minute, because it's a sick fucking design. But he's Death. He's the Grim Reaper. He's so fucking sick. And this is probably my favorite depiction of him. So boner tier. Smack cam, boner cam. No boner cam. I lied. Dry Bones, my goat. Oh god. Oh, do I put him in boner tier? Ooh, you know what? No, he goes right above Hog Skeleton. Boner tier's getting a little too crowded. God, I love Dry Bones. Oh my god, if I wasn't a Dry Bowser main, I'd probably, oh god, I don't know, I'd probably be a Shy Guy main. But if I wasn't a Shy Guy main, I'd be a Dry Bones main. He's the skeleton, he's the quintessential skeleton of the Mario series. And, you know, like I mentioned before, the benefit to the Dark Souls skeleton is that they're kind of immortal, not truly, but like Dry Bones embodies, like, you know, that whole skeleton can't be killed because you step on him, you beat him, you kill him, but then he just comes back to life. And that has an iconic sound effect associated with it. Now, like with like the Ice Flower, there are ways to like just permanently get rid of him, or like with the Star Power. But, you know, immortal skeleton, and I love that. I love that for him. He embodies everything that I love about skeletons. You're just taking another enemy that already worked, and you're making him cooler. I love Dry Bones. I love him so much. He is my goat. If Dry Bones has 0 fans, I am dead. Just like Dry Bones. Papyrus. Gosh. Yeah, he goes, tickle my funny bone. It's Papyrus, man. I have been told that I give off Papyrus vibes. Or maybe Papyrus gives off me vibes. You know, I'm older than Papyrus. I had this aura to me first, which, you know, certainly makes me appreciate Papyrus even more. But as I mentioned before with Nito, you gotta have your imposing, scary, powerful skeletons, and you gotta have your goofy skeleton men. And Papyrus is the quintessential goofy skeleton man. It's Undertale. You know, every character in Undertale has so much charm to them. It's indescribable. It's infuriating. You know, Toby Fox, why are you so goated? But Papyrus, listen, if you know anything about Undertale, I don't need to talk about Papyrus. He got that shit on, though. What the fuck? I don't know what the hell he's from. He got that on, though. Yeah. Drip the fuck out. I don't know who the fuck this is. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know who this is. He looks kind of cool. He looks pretty cool. Boom. I don't know who the fuck this is. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Fuck. Minecraft skeletons. The spawn of Satan. Jesus. Okay. See, the quintessential skeleton archer. But he's too good at his job. Motherfucker's got aimbot. It's not fair. I hate skeletons. Seeing a skeleton in Minecraft is the most terrifying experience you can ever have. Seeing a skeleton in anything. I'd wager seeing a skeleton in Minecraft is more terrifying than probably finding a skeleton in real life. God, fighting these things fucking suck. They're too good. They're too cracked. And on one hand, you know, do I put them in Tickle My Funny Bone because they're just so good at their job? Or do I put them in Sad Trombone Noise because it makes me want to kill myself anytime I see one? I think I'll put him in Skeleton tier to balance that out. And also just because, at the end of the day, he's just a skeleton with a bow. Nothing all that much to it. He just has a lot more nostalgia. And I mean, yeah, he's just a skeleton with a bow. The Lego skeleton. I really like Lego skeletons because their minifigures a lot more complex than like a regular. They could have easily just, you know, gave him the regular like full. They could have just easily made a skeleton minifigure, a regular Lego minifigure, but they just like made it black and like painted like ribs, like the rib cage and all that, and like all the bones on it. But they didn't. They gave it a pretty complex, or air quotes complex, as far as Lego minifigure goes, design, and I really like that. I really appreciate that. It definitely looks sick. Definitely makes him look a lot more, you know, spectral. It makes him look dead, which I guess is the whole point of a skeleton. Also has a pretty fucking scary face. The longer you look at it, that's not what a skull looks like. That's terrifying. But yeah, a skeleton. I don't remember his name. I don't remember the name of this guy's series. But he's the Mexican Grim. He's like a Mexican death. He's like a Mexican like Grim Reaper private investigator. Which, if that isn't Tickle My Funny Bone tier, I don't know what the fuck is. I have to apologize. I'm not familiar with his game. But just what little I know about him, this dude's goated. This dude's cracked. A fucking blue-eyed skeleton. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this guy's from. I don't like the way he's looking at me, though. Stalfos. Oh my god. Yeah, you want to talk about a skeleton from the Zelda series? Fuck all these guys. Stalfos is where it's at. A skeleton warrior. Badass sword. They're a little annoying to fight in Ocarina of Time, just because I haven't truly figured them out. Like, sometimes it can get a little confusing. I'm like, when the fuck are you gonna drop your shield, asshole? But they're so sick. They're so badass. They got like these coal. I don't know if they're supposed to be like copper or if they're like rusted, like swords. They're badass. I mean, they got the fucking pauldrons. Sick fucking, and you can't really see in the art, but they do have like a tiny little helmet on their head. Kind of wear it like a yarmulke, actually. But I love Stalfos. They're amazing. Probably up there, to be honest, with like Dark Nuts as like favorite Zelda enemies. You know what? Maybe that's next week's tier list. Shit, maybe Zelda enemies. But regardless, Stalfos are badass. I can't remember if Stalfos have any sick lore to them, unfortunately. I know in Twilight Princess, or maybe it's in Ocarina of Time, where like people who get lost in the Kokiri Forest become Stalfos. And in Twilight Princess, you know, you find the spirit of the hero of time, and he became a Stalfos. Dude, the fucking Twilight Princess Stalfos, easily the best version of that. God, they're so fucking cool. Sans. I do not remember this guy's name. I know he's from Medieval, which is like a classic PS1 game. And clearly he's cool enough, to be in... Oh, shit. Hold on, guys. I just realized the fucking Twilight Princess Stalfos is on here. Yeah. God, it's so fucking cool. Like the Spectre of Time, the shade of hero, the hero of time. Badass. Anyways, this dude from Medieval, I don't know much about him. I know he falls in the goofy skeleton category, but he's a skeleton knight. That's pretty cool. I need to play his game. I've heard it's pretty good, actually. Boom. Yeah. Fucking skeleton with a big old barrel of what I can only presume to be explosives. Pretty fucking sick. Pretty fucking cool. Now I don't know if he's gonna throw this thing at me like Donkey Kong, or if he's gonna like orcs, you know, at Helm's Deep, you know, just hold a fucking barrel and just run into it and just be the sacrifice. But this is pretty silly. I'd say this goes above a skeleton archer, because what's better than shooting an arrow, throwing a barrel of explosives? That's throwing a barrel of gunpowder. That's pretty fucking badass. It's pretty silly. Also, I can quite relate to the skeleton. I have the exact same posture. He's just like me. Okay. So unfortunately, a bunch of Terraria skeletons. I don't know shit about these guys. I don't know shit about Terraria. What I do know is I just see a skeleton wizard. That's Tickle My Funny Bone. Just based off of principle. He goes above Stalfos. Skeleton wizard, also called a lich. Yeah, no, that's... Oh my god. Oh, we got a pig? Ew. Oh, fucking... A skeleton with a fucking sniper? I feel like that's just like the modern evolution of a skeleton with a bow. You get a fucking sniper skeleton. That's pretty sick. I like that. That's a pretty cool concept. Put him right there. Homeless zombie. Homeless skeleton. That makes me sad. I'm sorry that even in undeath you're... I guess you can somehow be homeless even if you're dead. That's sad. I don't like that. That makes me sad. I don't know what this guy's name is. I know he's like one of like the... He's one of like the earlier bosses in Terraria, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. I missed one. I don't know what the fuck this guy's supposed to be. I think because his concept, his pixel art doesn't convey it very well. He goes not that humorous, mostly because I need an excuse to put something in these bottom two tiers. But this guy, he's just a floating skull with like disembodied hands. I don't know. I don't really fuck with it. I don't really care for it. If I knew more, I'd probably think they're cool, but I don't. So I don't. Golden skeleton. I don't know what he's from. He's just like a skeleton made out of gold. Sure. I don't remember his name, but he's a training dummy from Hades. I've never played Hades, but I had a phase where I would watch a bunch of like YouTube shorts, basically, of like the bits of dialogue in that game, and the writing in that game's so fucking good. But it's like a little dummy you can test out your new like abilities on, and he's all like, he's not like the like a masochist where he's like, oh, hit me, Zariel, or what's his name, Zagreal? That sounds right. Or am I thinking of Zariel from D&D? Zagreus, I think that's his name. Something like that. I haven't played the game. Correct me in the comments. He's not like, they could have just gone like a masochist route, and he's like, gets off on getting hit, but he's like, no, you gotta hit somebody to practice, and I want that to be me, so hit me. You know, I'm just doing my duty. I'm just doing my job, sir. And I like that. He's pretty silly. But he doesn't really do anything all that advanced. I'll put him right above the terrifying bloody skeleton. Yeah, I can't even remember his name though, so I feel bad. the fucking mariachi dudes from I don't remember the name of the world, but like the second world, or the one right after Lost Kingdom, in Odyssey. They're just Mexicans. They're just Mexicans, but they have skulls for heads. Boner tier, boner cam. um, I'll put them right above Sans. Actually, I love these guys. I love these guys so much. I haven't gotten very far in Mario Odyssey. Oh, ran out of music. Yes, I am. Yes, I am still listening to music. Come on now. Fucking. I haven't gone very far in Mario Odyssey because anytime I play that game, it makes me sleepy. No, but not because it's boring, but that game like releases like all like the happy endorphins, and you know when you're happy, when you feel happy and safe and secure, you sleep more. But anyways, regardless, I haven't played a bunch of Mario Odyssey because it makes me too comfy and happy, and it makes me tired. And these guys are part of the reason. I love these little guys. I love that if you can find a room filled with them playing their music, and Mario just dances to it. They're just little happy little mariachi guys. I love them. Oh my god, they're perfect. Is that a skateboard? Is that a fucking skateboard? I don't know what the fuck. He got that shit on though. I'm just gonna assume this is the fucking skateboarding Grim Reaper. Oh my god. Butler server skeleton. Yeah, sure. Oh my god. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the fuck this is pretty silly. This is a pretty silly little design. I'll put him right above the flaming lava bloody skeleton. I would love to know what game this is from. That's pretty fucking silly. Skeleton with a whip made from a fucking spine. Holy shit. That's pretty fucking metal. That's pretty fucking metal. I'll put him right above the he goes right below what I can only assume is skateboarding Grim Reaper. Because that's kind of a tough bar to clear. But we're in and off with the Wither Skeleton and the Wither. Wither Skeleton, skeleton, but he's black and he has a sword, so I feel like he should go where the Bone Men are. But he's a sword, so he's cooler, but I don't think that's quite as cool as having a fucking sniper rifle. Yeah, if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the Wither Skeleton, refer to the Minecraft mobs tier list. And then we got the Wither Skeleton, which I guess he is a skeleton. I keep saying Wither Skeleton, he's just a Wither. That's a Wither Skeleton right here. I guess he's technically a skeleton. I don't think about him as a skeleton because he just seems to be a spine with ribs and then like 3 heads. I don't know. I guess he's technically a skeleton. He's cool, I guess. He doesn't. I mean, you can make a beacon from him, but who the fuck needs a beacon? Honestly, when I think of the Wither, I don't think about ever. I think of people cheesing this thing and like anarchy servers on Minecraft where like you just spawn a Wither, you just to grief somebody's base and to be a dickhead. But I don't know. I just don't have a ton of experience with the Wither. I've never bothered fighting it because there's really not any reason to. I don't know. He can go in the bottom and take on my funny bone. No, he can't. I don't know. He doesn't deserve that. I'm just gonna put him. I'm gonna put him right below a regular old skeleton because I don't know. It just the Wither doesn't do much for me. Sorry, not sorry. But that's the tier list. That's the skeleton tier list. It's very I mean, there's what 8 things in like the bottom 2 tiers. I like skeletons. What can I say? This was always going to be a very top heavy tier tier list. But regardless, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you disagree, don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. This is an echo chamber only. If I see any comments, they either be correcting me on the name of the main character from Hades, or you should be praising me for my incredible work as per usual. But I'll see y'all next week. Take care.